I look like this. Alright, so I threw this little two-piece set on for the video, and then also I wanted to show something kind of fitted so you can see my body, kind of see what I'm looking like now. And this little two-piece set I got from DD's. I think I paid like $8.99 for the whole thing. So this is what it looks like now. This is what I look like now. You guys can see me. I'm gonna step back as much as possible. So you can see what it is. So yeah, so like if I lift this up, you can see all of this. I'm working with all of this. Got my, I look every bit of pregnant. So anyway, that's that. Just to show you what it looks like. So that's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot of loose skin with the exception of my stomach area. And then I got a little bit of this. You know, that's a lot of it, girl. But it's going on. And that's pretty much it. I feel like my thighs went down a bit, but they ain't really trying to go nowhere. I feel like they're really just here to stay. So, and my hips, like I feel like they went down a bit, but they holding on for dear life. That's it. I look like this. And hey everyone, my name is Shanae. Welcome if you are new here, and thank you all so much to all of the new subscribers who have been liking and commenting and joining us over here at YouTube. So thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I truly appreciate it. I know everybody's like, girl, what's going on? Like, where you been? Who you been with? What you been up to? Like, so many questions in the comments, and I've tried my best to respond to each and every one of you. If I have not responded to your question, I will definitely go back and check it out. But I wanted to just kind of come on and give you guys an update on what's been going on with me, why I've been gone so long. I do record, trust and believe. I record a lot. I just don't have time to really edit and post. And sometimes editing can take 12 hours, sometimes a couple of days. It just really depends. So I do vlog a lot, and I find that a lot of my content, when I do have time, I typically will post it on my other social media like TikTok and Instagram and things like that, because it's just, you know, it's much more simpler content that you can quickly edit and post and, you know, be done with it. Whereas YouTube, I really want to try to give you guys more content where I can really sit down and talk to you, vlog, kind of show my day, show what I have going on. So I have been posting quite a bit of my content like in the shorts section of YouTube, where you can do like short videos. I think it's like up to a minute now. So if you have not checked that out, definitely go and check out that content. I do try to post there quite frequently, as well as my Instagram, my TikTok. So let's talk about what's been going on with me and why I've been absent from YouTube for quite some time. So first things first, after the surgery, like literally immediately after the surgery, when I got back to work, prior to this I was working in the federal government for like 14 years. So in IT, I was in public health for several years, and then I left public health and went into IT. Anywho, so during that time, it was like, when I got back from the surgery, work got so crazy. I was honestly like burnt out. There were so many days that I was just crying at work because it was just so much work to do, so much on me, so much pressure. And it wasn't just me. It was like me and another coworker, just really just stressed and working like crazy hours. And as a Black woman, you know, with the rate of heart disease, I was like, this ain't it. Like, there's no reason why I should be at work crying and stressed to the max and allow myself to just become overworked and burnt out. So I immediately started looking elsewhere, and I left. And I left the federal government after several years, and I went to, I won't say where, but I went to a major IT corporation, just very large, very well known, and with that came tons of complexities and trying to learn the ropes and get caught up with that. So since then, I've just been busy with like just really trying to understand the organization, get in where I fit in. Still an IT program manager there as well. So it's just been a lot to catch up with. And then on top of that, when I got there, they offered me the opportunity to take a certification. So I did a program management or project management certification through the Kellogg program at Northwestern University. So that took up like 3 months of my time, where not only working and dealing with the kids and taking them to and from their activities in school, but then I was also in school, so that took a lot of my time. So I'm hoping to really try to get back to me, and that's one of the things that I struggle with consistently prior to the surgery. And I will say that I still deal with that. Like, my mindset is always still very much on go mode. Go, 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 go. I'm constantly running around with the kids, extremely busy with work. And I think that although I am grateful and I'm blessed to be able to work from home, I think it's really hard to turn off, right? It's really hard to really cut work off when you're working from home. I feel like the organization that I work for, the headquarters is on the West Coast, so it's so very hard for me to cut off, because a lot of my colleagues are 2 hours behind me. So it's like they're having meetings later in the day, or I'm getting messages later in the day, and as much as I want to cut off, I find myself constantly picking up my work phone, responding to emails. So I have to do better with just prioritizing my time, really. So that's something that I've been dealing with. Let's see what else. So otherwise, everybody's been asking, girl, have you lost weight? Like, what's been going on? I think the last video that I posted was, I want to say like March, May of 2022, something like that. It's been a while, and I think at that time I had finally made it to Wonderland. I had dropped down to, I believe, like 197 pounds at the time. So since then, I was the holidays, so work with me. But since then, I've dropped quite a bit. I got down to, I think my lowest so far has been about like 160, 159 or so. But since the holidays, I've definitely gained like 5 or 7 pounds. So I kind of have been teetering between like 160, 169, something like that. I've been eating more than what I typically would eat. So like eating pie and macaroni and cheese, which is stuff I don't eat on a regular basis. So yeah, so I've been enjoying the holidays with my family. So New Year, I will be getting back to my regular routine and getting back to the things that I typically eat. Let's get into what I don't eat. Or what I stopped eating. So since the surgery, I don't eat bread, I don't eat pasta, I don't eat rice.
Don't do laundry, I don't do windows, I don't do carpets, I don't do bathtubs, I don't do toilets, and I don't do diapers.
I wasn't really big on rice prior to the surgery. I did eat rice, but I was more so a quinoa girl. But I completely cut out quinoa and rice. I don't eat that whatsoever. If I do happen to have a meal where I would have had rice, I just double up on the veggies. I typically would just eat more vegetables, and that's satisfying for me. I don't eat bread anymore. Prior to the surgery, I was tearing up pizza. Like, pizza was my favorite thing to eat. I do eat pizza, but I typically will just eat the toppings. I don't eat the bread whatsoever. So I feel like I eat pizza like a kid. Like, I eat pizza like my children do. I will take all the toppings off and just eat that. I did have cornbread over the holiday, which was a little bit hard for me to get down because I'm not used to ingesting, you know, cornbread, or any bread for that matter. And then pasta. I didn't eat pasta like that prior to the surgery. I was not a pasta girl. I still had it from time to time, but I don't eat it at all anymore. Every now and again, Like for instance, for the holidays I had macaroni and cheese, but otherwise I don't eat pasta. So those are the main things that I have cut out, which is, like I said, the bread, the pasta, and the rice, and quinoa. And mainly because of the carbs, right? Like they're all pretty high in carbs. So I've cut back on that completely. And someone did ask me in the comments about constipation. I'm gonna do a total separate video on that. So stay tuned for that. But I will say that I did deal with constipation after the surgery. I think that deserves another video. And like what I did to deal with that, because I literally went to urgent care and was like, I'm about to die. Like, someone help me pass this stool. So I did deal with that. I did deal with the constipation. So that definitely deserves its own video, because it got really bad, y'all. So I want to do a separate video and talk about it in depth. Otherwise, really honestly, since then I haven't had any issues with constipation, and maybe because I stay on top of it, make sure that I do like the stool softeners, obviously increasing your fiber, making sure that you're taking in quite a bit of fiber, and just watching, you know, what you eat. And it's hard to kind of deal with that in the beginning because your body's gone through so much trauma after the surgery, and you've got this excess gas after the surgery. Like, there's a lot going on, and you're making like some extreme changes in what you're eating. So I think that it's definitely necessary to increase your fiber. It's worth doing these stool softeners. That definitely helps. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I do, and I haven't had any issues with the constipation since then. Let's talk about regrets. Okay, so I'd say some regrets for me. I don't know. I mean, I guess it is a regret, but at the same time, I'll tell you why I decided to do it this way. So I feel like I could have lost a lot more weight, right? One of the things that I regret that I did not do was exercise, like flat out. I did not exercise after the surgery. I didn't. At least not consistently. I think a little bit here, a little bit there, nothing worth mentioning because I wasn't consistent about it. So I didn't really do all that I could have done with exercising, really anything. I think I went to the gym a handful of times, and like I said, I just have not had time. I've just allowed myself to get so busy that I didn't prioritize myself, unfortunately. So because of that, I didn't make time for exercising. So that didn't happen after the surgery. And a lot of I'd say that a big part of me kind of regrets that, because I'm like, I could have lost a lot more weight, and I still have time. Obviously, you typically want to, from what I've heard and what I've learned, is you lose the most amount of weight in your first year. So I could have lost a lot more weight had I've exercised, but I didn't, I didn't prioritize it. I didn't make time for it, and it didn't happen. But one of the things that I am happy about is that, and nothing against people who did exercise, and like, so be it. I wish I could have been one of those people who made time for that. But what I've noticed with people who did exercise quite heavily, they have a lot of excess skin. I don't have excess skin. I mean, I have I got this going on. I got this going on, here. And then I have excess skin in my stomach area. But that's really it. Like, I don't have any excess skin on my thighs. My boobs were already boobing, and I've been wanting to get a breast reduction and a lift since having the kids. So that's not really anything new there. I don't feel like I've had excess skin in my boob area. They've definitely drooped since the surgery, but nothing crazy, you know what I mean? Like, I do feel like they're a bit more flabby, so to speak, but not excessively. And again, had I exercised, I'm sure I would have a significant amount of excess skin, because you're losing that weight at a rapid pace. You're losing that fat at a rapid pace. So for me, I think it's been more gradual. I've kind of gradually lost weight over time. So that's pretty much pretty much that. I'd say it is a regret. I would have liked to have lost more, which is why in the new year, certainly wanting to exercise this time around, prioritize myself. So speaking of that, one of the things that I want to talk about, that's another regret of mine, would be my mindset. You hear a lot of people talking about, this is just a tool. VSG, the surgery, bariatric surgery, any type of weight loss surgery is really just a tool to help you along your journey. This is not going to be the end all be all. You have to change what you eat. It's important to exercise. It's important to just really change your lifestyle from here on out. And for me, I'd say one of the biggest regrets is that, in all honesty, when it comes to prioritizing myself, my mindset has not changed. So that's one of the things that I've struggled with the most, is my mindset. And the reason why I say that is because prior to the surgery, I gained quite a bit during COVID. Yeah, I was at like 180, and then I jumped up to, like I said, my highest weight was 244 prior to COVID. Going into 9 Round with my neighbor, we would go and exercise there a couple of times a week. And that's like a 30-minute circuit, like boxing circuit, which I enjoyed. I really, really enjoyed going to 9 Round. And then even before that, I was going into the office. So I've been in IT. I've been working from home for several years, but when COVID hit, I was home 100%. Prior to COVID, I was going into the office twice a week. So maybe 2 or 3 times a week I would go into the office. So I was catching the subway into DC. I lived in Maryland, I lived in Waldorf, Maryland. So I was catching the subway into DC and then walking like several blocks to and from my office, and then walking like on my lunch break and things like that. So I was fairly active, prior to COVID. And then when COVID hit, I was home with the kids. We weren't going anywhere, and it was just convenient for me to eat, pick up something, eat. We were eating out a lot, so it was like just constantly doing things that I typically were not used to doing. And then on top of that, sitting around, right? I was in Maryland pretty much all my life, and then when COVID hit, me and my kids, I sold my home and I moved to Texas in July 2020. So I just started eating a lot and gaining a lot of weight. Like I said, my highest weight was 244, which happened once I moved here to Texas. Because when I got here to Texas, y'all, the kids and I had purchased a new home, and I was just enjoying the food here in Texas. Really the ice cream. Like, I don't know what it is about the ice cream at HEB, but changed my life. So I was doing a lot of ice cream when I got here. A lot of and a lot of those flavored sparkling waters. Like, I was doing like, and I'm somebody who, I don't drink soda. I have not had soda. Carbonated drinks, period. I have not had soda or carbonated drinks since freshman year of college. Like, I completely went cold turkey freshman year of college and cut out soda. So I have not had soda since then. But then when COVID hit and we moved here to Texas, somebody had put me on to those carbonated sparkling waters. And when I tell you, I was doing like 3 a day. And I noticed like I was getting like extremely bloated, but I was addicted to them. Like, I was addicted to the carbonated sparkling waters, and I wasn't even doing like the flavored ones. I just like the carbonation from, like, HEB here in Texas is a grocery store here in Texas. They have these I don't know if it's considered like unflavored or plain or whatever, but it's just like the plain sparkling waters, and I just like yearned for this carbonation suddenly, and I was like really big on that. So that was like, that became my thing when I was here. Yeah, that, and just eating a bunch of like junk that I typically would not eat prior to COVID. So that's how I got to my highest weight. So for me, prior to the surgery, I had met with the nutritionist, and she was like, asking me about what I eat on a regular basis, what type of activities that I do, kind of see what my, my exercise activity was like what I was doing on a regular basis. And what she found is that I wasn't eating enough. So my mindset was just always on go mode, constantly running around with the kids. My youngest has autism, so she needs just extra special attention and care and love. And I try to make it equal for the both of them. I don't want my son to ever feel like he's lacking in any way. So I tend to go above and beyond with the both of them. So with that being said, just getting really busy with the kids, with work, and
Shanae, here is your reminder. Take out the trash.
got it. Alexa, stop. So yeah, just like getting so busy with everything that I have going on and not making time to eat. And especially since I was working from home, I'm telling you, when you're working from home, especially being in IT, I don't know, like those of you who are in IT, we are on call after call after call after call. I feel like I'm on a call every 30 minutes for 8.5, 9-hour days, sometimes 10 longer. So I'm on call all day, all day. And I find that sometimes it's hard for me to make time to go to the restroom, like in between calls, or even eat. So prior to the surgery, I'd say that honestly, I'd have my first meal sometimes at like 7 p.m. So I would officially log off for the day, and then I'm like, all right, let me finally eat. So I've gone the entire day without eating and really not drinking as much water as I tend to do. And I would get to the point where it was in starvation mode. My body would be in complete starvation mode. And I'm someone who all I drink is water, right? I'd have tea on occasions. I'm not really a coffee drinker. I have to be in the mood for coffee. But even though all I drink is water, still not having enough water throughout the day. I'd say I'd have maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 cups a day, if that. And it was like I was allowing myself to just be completely depleted and go into starvation mode, where when I finally eat, at this point I'm binging, right? Because I went the entire day without eating. And then if I'm starting at 7 p.m. to finally eat for the first time, I'm eating all times of the hour. I mean, all times of the night. And I'm someone who stays up all night. My typical going to bed is 2 to 4 a.m. and I've been like that all my life. I've been like that since middle school. That's another story for another day that I can definitely tell you guys. The trauma that led to me staying up all night. Ooh, okay. Wow. Wait a minute. Well, okay. That kind of took a toll on me for a minute. Anywho, that's another story for another time. So with that being said, because of that, if I'm starting at 7 p.m. for the first time to eat, here I am 2 o'clock in the morning still eating, because I've went the entire day without eating, right? So my body's been starving most of the day. So with that, your body's going in starvation mode. You're holding on to all this fat. Your metabolism is slowing down tremendously, and you're just holding on to all this weight. So that is how I got up to 244. So the nutritionist was like, okay, I want you to start incorporating more protein. I want you to do the vitamins, because I wasn't doing the vitamins. I wasn't consistent with that. I still struggle with that from time to time. But anyway, so since the surgery, I will say that things that I struggle with is still not eating enough. And it's harder now because I can't eat as much as I was able to eat before. So there is no binging. There is no finally trying to catch up with what I lacked throughout the day. I can't do that. I can't catch up at this point. So what I found is sometimes I'm still not eating until it's time for me to go pick my stomach's growling right now. I struggle with still eating enough. I will do the protein shakes. That typically holds me over. I tend to have my water on hand. So this one's 40 ounces. This is a new one that I got here recently, and I believe I got this from TJ Maxx. So since my stomach is growling, I try to, you know, drink as much water as possible. But with the surgery, you cannot eat and drink at the same time. Typically, you want to wait 30 minutes before and after. So with the eating, I tend to, sometimes I find that I have my first meal right before I'm getting ready to go pick the kids up from school. So they get out at 3, and then I'm like, oh shoot, it's like 2:30, and I'm like, I didn't eat. So I'll find myself like, let me try to eat something really quickly before I go get the kids, because I know that I'm doing my rounds. They go to different schools. My daughter goes to a private school for kids with autism, so her school's a lot further out. So I'll normally go pick her up, and I find myself trying to grab something or, you know, scarf something down before I have to go pick my daughter up. And I can't have anything to drink after that, because honestly, it's crazy. Like, while I think I fill this up, I'd say that I fill this up maybe about 3 times a day. So I normally will have some in the morning. I normally will drink water. I'll normally have like a protein shake on the way to drop the kids off to school, and then I'll normally drink this throughout the day, and then I'll fill it up again like around lunchtime. And I'll try to eat lunch, or I'll try to do like a snack, and then I'll drink another one of them, and then I'll have another one later on in the day. But otherwise, yeah, I find that I tend to force myself to eat before going to go pick the kids up at 3 p.m. because I realized that I hadn't had anything to eat. So it's like, okay, oh my goodness, it's 2 o'clock, 2:15, I haven't had anything. Let me go ahead and eat, because I had to leave here by 2:45 to start going to go pick the kids up. So that's when I tend to eat for the first time sometimes. So still trying to do better with prioritizing myself, putting myself first, making sure that I am getting the meals in, because obviously my metabolism is still slow. It's still extremely slow, honestly. So that's something that I still struggle with. I have done better. I started seeing a nutritionist again, and she mentioned even if I do nothing else, like just allow myself to have an egg in the morning. So I would try to do a boiled egg in the morning. I'll do a protein shake, so that way I can kind of kick my metabolism into gear. So it's like, you know, trying to have an egg within like the first hour of getting up. So I normally will make an egg, so that way I can take that with me on the road. I ate this one already, but I also do like the Sargento balance breaks, and this one has the cheddar cheese with the cashews and the dried cranberries. Now I will say that this does have, I don't remember the amount of carbs, but this does have, I want to say like 11 grams of carbs, so something to be mindful of. You know, if you want to, you know, try to stay low carb, this may not be ideal for you. If you're trying to stay, like some people do keto and they want to do like 20 to 25 grams of carbs, then maybe the balance breaks aren't good for you. But for me, my breakfast now that I'm trying to do better tends to be like a boiled egg, and then I'll grab one of these to go, because it's something I can eat while I'm in the car. So I'm trying to do better with that. So I say my mindset is still like where I was before, with not prioritizing myself, not making time to eat. So I did experience hair loss. I lost quite a bit in the crown. I'd say had like a lot of excess shedding in the crown, as well as on the right hand side. So I just went ahead and cut it off. I tend to cut my hair like every couple of years, and I've never had my hair grow beyond this point. Obviously this is not my hair, but my hair doesn't grow beyond like this point here. So for me, every time it kind of gets to this point and it gets stuck, or I go to like trim it, and my hair is, I say it's fine, but it's very thin. So once it gets to this point and I get bored with it, I tend to cut it anyways. So it was nothing for me to just go ahead and just cut my hair. It is starting to grow back quite a bit. My sister mentioned it the other day. She was like, your hair is growing back. So it is growing back, and I think that, you know, obviously staying on top of it, moisturizing, make sure that you're taking your vitamins, I think you'll be fine. That's just something that people tend to experience, and I was one of them, dealing with the hair loss. Oh, I get very nauseous since the surgery. I will say that that's another reason why I realized that I hadn't had anything to eat. I can go a very long time without eating, and I have like this empty taste in my mouth. Like it's almost like I can taste the pit of my stomach. It's very weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like this very empty taste in my mouth, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't had anything to eat. I need to eat something. And then I will also get nauseous if at times I'll find myself, let's say for instance I had something to eat, and I try to wait like 15 to 30 minutes after eating to have something to drink. But if I don't, like let's say for instance I even can have like a slight snack, like I can eat one of these and then try to drink some water, and it feels like it's coming back up. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but like if my food is here, I can feel like the water is like it's pushing the food back. It feels like it's like pushing the food back up my esophagus, and I could feel it like right in my chest area. So it's like the minute I'll have like even like a slight snack, even if I eat one of those, and then I'll try to drink some water afterwards, I can immediately feel it like coming back up my esophagus. It's like it's coming back up, and I'm like, whoa, slow down. So I am still one of those ones who cannot eat and drink immediately afterwards. I still have to wait and pace myself before having anything to drink. So it's important to do that, because if you the times that I have had something to eat and I try to drink, like it will stop me in my tracks where I'm like, oh wait a minute. It's like you know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of oh my goodness, Fred Sanford from Sanford and Son. He's like, oh, this is the big one. Oh, Elizabeth, like I'm coming. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like it's like coming back up, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, like clutch my pearls. Like, am I dying? Like it's that intense. It feels like it's coming back up, and I feel like I'm like damn near having a heart attack. I can feel it all in my chest. So I try to really pace myself and allow myself time to digest before I have anything to drink. And if I eat too fast, like I mentioned, the dumping syndrome, I will feel nauseous. Sometimes I feel like my food's coming back up, or I would immediately have to go to the restroom and it comes out. So be careful with dumping syndrome. Try not to overeat for sure. You know, pay attention to the signs when your body has had enough. I tend to feel it in my stomach area, where my stomach will feel very tight when I've had enough, or yeah, I'd say it feels very tight, or you can almost just kind of like feel the food going down. When it gets to that point, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to kind of just stop a bit. And I struggle with that because I'm not eating enough, right? So then when I finally want to eat, obviously my eyes are bigger than my stomach. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, let me eat. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute, pace yourself, slow down, give yourself a minute. So I will try to take some time in between eating, because if not, like I said, you'll overeat. You'll have the dumping syndrome, or you can feel very nauseous, like you're going to throw your food up. I'm trying to do better with like setting timers to eat. As crazy as that may sound, like I really do need a timer, like to remind myself, like, Shanae, don't forget to eat, or Shanae, it's 2 p.m. go ahead and eat, or Shanae, it's, you know, whatever, it's 10 a.m. make sure that you have something to eat. One of the things that I've noticed is that like I just tend to allow myself to get so busy and putting everyone else before me, work, the kids, just life, like life just be lifing, right? And I just have a lot going on that because of that, I don't prioritize myself enough. So really just trying to set timers, trying to eat more frequently, but obviously you know, making sure that I'm doing it in moderation. You know what else I've noticed since the surgery that I do? I used to be, like I said, I did not have, I'm not really a juice person. I very rarely have juice. I have not had soda since my freshman year in college, so I don't do soda. But while I do quite a bit of water, Well, all I drink is water. But for me, prior to the surgery, I was really big on like warm or room temperature water. Like I was always like grabbing a bottle of water and having like room temperature water. For me, I've learned that since the surgery, I like really cold drinks. So I have to have like, I prefer these insulated cups. Obviously they're easy like on the go, but it's the insulated water bottles keep my my ice and my water cold for hours. So I prefer like really ice cold water, and I will fill it up like to here with ice and then put my water in here. And if I get bored, I'll add like the flavored water enhancers. I'll put down in the comments the ones that I like, that are typically my go-to. I try to do like the sugar-free ones, so I'll put those down in the comments if you're interested in those that I typically add to my water when I want to switch it up. Another thing that I had constantly that I'm so grateful that I no longer have issues with is acid reflux. Like I've heard a lot of people say that they had issues with acid reflux post-surgery, but prior to the surgery, even really when I first started to have acid reflux was when I had my children. So when I was pregnant with my son, I would wake up in the middle of the night with like burning acid reflux, and it was horrible. And this continued on even with my pregnancy with my daughter. They're 14 months apart, so this continued on quite a bit then. And then after having the kids, I still had it, not quite as frequently, but I would have it. So before, when I was pregnant, I would have it, I'd say like twice a week. And then after having the kids, it probably happened a couple of times a month. So I'm grateful that that's gone. I've had no issues whatsoever with acid reflux. Plastic surgery, yes. Sign me up. I wanted to get my breast done prior to even having VSG. I nursed both of my kids. I nursed my son for, I don't even know. My daughter and my son are 14 months apart. So I think I nursed my son for about, I want to say like 4 or 5 months before my milk production started to slow down. Mine slowed down drastically when I became pregnant with my daughter. And at that point, I started to substitute where I would do half breast milk, half formula with him. With my daughter, I nursed her for 14 months. So for the entire 14 months, I was breastfeeding with her. So with me, I felt like my boobs, I needed a breast reduction and a lift for quite some time. So we'll see. I want to talk to cosmetologist. I want to, talk to the plastic surgeon and get a consultation and see what they recommend. I've heard people talking about, after surgery, having to do like an implant for fullness. So we'll see. I don't know. I'd rather not go that route. But we'll see. I'll see what they say. Right now, I'm at I believe the last time I got measured, I was at like a 34 double D. Prior to surgery, I was at a 38 triple D. So I would love to have like a B. Honestly, I'd love to be like a B cup. I'd settle for a C, but I would love to have a B cup. And so I don't know, we'll see. I'll see what they recommend. Also interested in doing a tummy tuck, so we'll see. Like I said, I have not had a consultation, so I do want to go ahead and talk to a plastic surgeon and see what they recommend in terms of doing like a tummy tuck and a breast reduction and a breast lift. So even though it's been a year, they still may recommend that I lose more weight. So we'll see. They may recommend that I get down and lose some more weight prior to having plastic surgery. So we'll see. I will do the consultation and I'll share that with you guys. Like I said, I want to try to be more intentional this year and try to post more frequently, update you guys, let you know what's going on. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, thank you so much to all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for joining. I've seen, even though I haven't posted, I've seen a lot of you guys, you know, going into the comment section, asking questions, people subscribing on a daily basis. So I am so grateful for you guys. I don't know, I think I'm at like 7 something now, like 700. So I am on the road to trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers. So please, you know, if you guys have not already, subscribe, share it with others who you think would be interested in any of my content. So thank you guys so much for following me, not only on this journey, just life in general, right? Like, life doesn't stop at BSG. Again, this is just a tool. There's so much more work to do. So I try to share more about my life as a divorced single mom. I've moved across the country. I moved from Maryland to the Houston, Texas area, which we love. Me and my kids love it here. I talk more about me going out, hanging out, meeting people, dating. I share quite a bit of that. Shopping, okay? I shop. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm definitely someone who stays in the stores or online shopping. So sharing that, as well as like when me and the kids travel, when I travel, like my solo travel, solo dating, things like that. If you're interested in that, and as well as being a mom of a child with autism, a child on the spectrum, I share her progress and how well she's doing, and her brother is her biggest supporter. So he's amazing. So just really try to share more about all of that, y'all, and whatever else you want to see. Like, I'm here. If you want to see what it's like working, what I do on a daily basis in my job, as much as I can share. But yeah, definitely let me know if you have any other questions, if there's anything else you'd like to see, anything else you want me to update you on. If you're interested, if I decide to do the plastic surgery, if you're interested in it, when I start exercising, I can you know, incorporate that too, and show you guys more of like some of the things that I'm doing, and we can kind of look at my progress, like what's working. I bought this sauna thing recently too, like an indoor sauna, so I can show you guys some of that. I can do a Q&A if you guys are interested in that. Definitely let me know, put the questions in the comments, or you can even go over to Instagram and DM me and let me know some things that you'd like to hear more about, that you're interested in, that you'd like for me to share. And that's it. Yeah, thank you guys for, you know, being concerned and checking in on me. Like, girl, where you been? What's going on? Like, have you lost weight? Like, what's up with you? I appreciate it. Don't feel like you're bothering me. I enjoy having people to talk to. I watch a lot of people on YouTube, but I don't comment as much because they don't respond, right? So then I feel like I'm talking to myself. So I try to make it a point to comment when you guys comment, to respond to you guys, and give you feedback and communicate with you guys, engage with you as much as possible across all my social media. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, for following me, for joining me, for caring, for watching, for supporting me, all that. I truly appreciate it. So anyway, I'm gonna go because it's time to eat. My stomach's been growling the entire time. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's been growling since I've been on this. So thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you guys. See you later. Bye.